think this is probably good. Okay, this is my first Q&A video. By the way, this is my diesel tank for my diesel heater. This is not pee. Before anybody runs to the comments asking if it's pee, because I have been asked that before. I just need to get that out of the way. So I posted a community post asking for questions from you guys. And then I also posted a link on my Instagram to ask anonymously in case anyone wanted to ask anonymously. Would I like to visit any country in Europe? If so, what country? I would love to visit Europe. Spain is really high up there on my list. When your YouTube income pays all your bills, would you stop working? So first of all, I love the optimism this person has. They say when instead of if. If YouTube income became more than my actual job now, possibly. The only reason I say possibly is because like working and doing YouTube is just a lot, and it does feel like I have two jobs quite a bit of the time, so it would be nice to just be able to put all of my effort into YouTube and creating videos and all that, but at the same time it's so nice to have a stable job that pays me. You know, I know what I'm gonna get paid, I know when I'm gonna get paid, and it never fluctuates the way that YouTube revenue does. Possibly I think I would have to be making like quite a bit though, to where even if I had like months where I didn't make a lot, it still would be comfortable enough to live on. How many miles? Okay, let me go look, because I don't actually know off the top of my head. Okay, there are 156,000 miles. 156,230 miles. Do I live in my van full time? Yes. Do I want to go to Canada? Do I have any plans to go to Canada? Well, I would love to go to Canada one day. I have a very loose itinerary for the next while, and Canada is not on there. Yeah, no plans, but you never know. Okay, I've gotten a lot of questions about what camera gear I use. I use a Sony a6400 for the camera. A lot of the times I also use my phone, which is an iPhone 15, and I use both the front and back camera, whether the quality is good or not. And for my mic, I have a Rode, is it Rode Go mic? I'll put it up here. And then I just use the lens that came with my camera. It's a kit lens. It's 18 to 135 millimeter. I got a couple questions as well about my favorite comfort food in the van, my favorite meal to make. And honestly, it's literally anything with rice. So whether that's veggies or like a vegetarian sausage or eggs or kimchi. I recently discovered avocado on rice, and then granola bars. Okay, what hair products do I use on the road? So I'm gonna show you guys what I use, not the shampoo and conditioner, but I have some products that I use. I just got done swimming in the river, so I don't have any product in my hair now, but when I don't feel like washing my hair, or it's been a little bit long since I washed my hair, these are my favorite products. So the first one, it's Kristen S, and it's a dry shampoo powder. And this stuff makes my hair smell good and look like I just took a shower, and it even makes it feel clean also. And then the other one is this, okay, it's coming off, but it's the same brand, Kristen S. It's like a styling powder, and this stuff just keeps my hair in place, and it also, you know, removes the oil and the grease. And I have really thin, fine hair, so it gets greasy really easily, and these two products together just always make my hair like look so much better than it used to. And I feel like these are just lifesavers all on the road. What is the coolest thing you've seen traveling? So I think any wildlife is hands down the coolest thing that I've seen. I saw a moose once, and then I see all different kinds of birds and bugs. Yeah, so I would definitely say the wildlife is just so beautiful, and the nature as well, the different what is it? The different biodomes? No, bio. And so far, my favorite places that I've experienced are definitely the southern desert in Arizona, so like near Tucson with all the cactuses, and also any sort of like mountainous, hilly, beautiful region like Jackson, Wyoming. What is my favorite part about starting van life? I guess, let's see, my favorite parts about van life and living in a van is, of course, being able to pick up and go whenever you want. Traveling is the main draw of this lifestyle, I think. The community, whether that's online or in real life, just meeting other people who have similar interests is always so lovely, and they're also kind. And I honestly think without those interactions, again, whether online or in person, I wouldn't be able to continue this because it does get so lonely, or you're just alone a lot. So any sort of human connection or contact, it just means so much. And finally, I think my favorite thing, and this is another really big draw, is not paying rent. What is my least favorite part about van life? So I have like neighbors. I don't know if they can hear me. So I think a lot of the things that make van life so amazing are also what make it so hard and stressful. Decision fatigue, I think, is a really big one. Yeah, I can pick up and go wherever, but sometimes I don't want every choice imaginable. It can just get exhausting, constantly choosing, not having plumbing. Basically, yes, I have my sink, which I'm so thankful for. Obviously, bathroom situation is not ideal, always relying on public restrooms or going outside. Then of course showering, it's a part, again, another thing you have to think of, where am I going to shower? What do I do for work in the most vague way possible? So I think I've answered this before, but I do data entry, and just to describe what that is, I take data from somewhere and I put it into a database. So I'm getting like data in my head, like I don't know which one to say. They both are gonna come out. Pretty vague and simple way to describe it. I wish so badly I could go into more detail with you guys, but just for my own safety and privacy, I really cannot. Hopefully that gives you guys a good jumping off point. I honestly feel like I'm the worst person to ask about remote work because of how private I have to be. Just be careful, of scams and all that. Luckily, again, I feel like I'm the worst person about this remote work stuff because my job just happened to become remote. So I never really had to go through applying for, scams on like Indeed and stuff like that. I just really recommend only applying for places are real and are real companies, and just, being thorough and looking out for common scams. So just be safe out there. Would I ever make an OnlyFans? No. How do I navigate seasonal clothing? Do I keep everything in my van for the whole year, or do I store them somewhere? I have basically all of my clothing in my van. The only stuff I don't have is like party dresses and party outfits, and that's at my mom's house. But besides that, I have all my jackets and sweaters and pants and shorts and tank tops all in my van. I store most of my sweaters and hoodies in a pillowcase, and then they're just shoved in there, so I don't have a lot of clothes. How did I find or adopt Athena? Okay, so somebody posted on Instagram somebody else's post, and it was of a bunch of puppies that were found under a shed in New Mexico. I just saw the post and I was like, I have to have a dog. I had lived in my van for about a month by that point. I had to become a stereotype. So I saw Athena and I saw her eyes, and the little caption of the person who posted the photo, they were about Athena. I don't remember what her name was before, but they said, if you adopt her, you'll have a best friend for life. And I just thought that was so cute, and I was like, I want a little best friend forever. And that's what she's become. She's literally my best friend. So I messaged those people and I was like, hey, I know I live in a van. That might not be, you might not think that's the best. I understand if you don't want to, let me adopt her. But the lady was super nice and kind, and we still follow each other on Instagram to this day and talk sometimes. But she was so sweet. So I drove to New Mexico in a few days. I think I actually ended up getting sick on my way there, and it took longer than anticipated. I got sick in Utah, and then I picked her up and I drove straight to Colorado because it was the summer and it was way too hot to stay in New Mexico. Yep, that's the story of Athena, and I'm so happy every day that I got her. I won't lie, it was really, really hard to have a puppy, especially in a van, and especially my first dog ever. I just watched a lot of videos, and I don't know, I just loved her right away, so it worked out perfectly, and now I'm so happy, and I would never want to ever go back to before I had her. Okay, what got me into van life? Well, is this a long story? I'll just start talking about it and then we can decide. So I first heard about it from my cousin who watches these videos. Hi Livy, if you're watching. And she had mentioned it to me years and years and years ago. And I was like, okay, cool, but I didn't really understand it yet. It just was a passing thing that she mentioned to me. But I feel like because she mentioned it to me, the next time I had heard about it, I was more interested, because I was like, oh, I've heard of that before. Which, by the way, I think that's how commercials and marketing work. I was telling someone that I just did not want to pay rent, and they were like, you could live in a van, one of those vans. I guess I just planted the seed, and then I started researching it more and watching videos about it. What helped me the most was seeing other girls alone in their van, and like they were doing it totally fine. You know, obviously there's struggles and whatnot. The fact that I saw them doing it, I was like, well, why not me? Why can't I do it then? So because I saw all that, it gave me the courage to do it myself. I also knew I really wanted to travel and just get more out there, and this seemed like the cheapest way to travel. Sorry if I'm rambling. This is why these videos are so hard for me. I feel like I just go off topic. Okay, I got a lot of questions about like how am I not scared, or how do I deal with fear, and I am often scared. I'm scared quite a lot. The amount of fear that I feel does go down, or it has gone down drastically since I started. When I very first slept in a car for the first time alone, I was terrified. It was really scary, but I also found it's way scarier like in my head than actually doing it. I find it's never as scary as I make it out to be in my mind. Yeah, I just am scared, and then I just do it anyway. I don't ever want to feel like I let fear stop me from doing things. I'm always a little bit nervous when I camp somewhere for the first time. And this kind of leads into the next questions of how do you avoid creepers and how do you stay safe? And the biggest thing is really just being aware of your surroundings, aware of everything, and trusting your instinct, even if you think you're being paranoid, just trust it. I think that maybe our subconscious or, parts of our brain pick up things that our conscious isn't aware of, and that's possibly where like that gut instinct comes from. So I just like to trust it, even if I feel like I'm being paranoid. And when I first started living in my van, I would hear people say, trust your gut instinct, trust your instinct. And I like didn't get it, because I was like, how do you know if it's not just anxiety, or how do you know what your gut instinct feels like? Yeah, it definitely, I think, developed, or like my ability to perceive and like feel my gut feeling has definitely been fine-tuned since living in the van. It came with time, and it wasn't something that I had right away. What has been one of the biggest lessons I've learned while living in the van? I feel like I've gotten so much more confident in who I am, and like in trusting my gut and trusting my own decisions since living in the van. I have to make every decision on my own. It's all my own decision. Sometimes not time to hem and haw. It's just you have to do it. Sometimes I'll be in a situation where I'm crying and I just want help. I just want to call someone and just like, please help me, please be here for me. But sometimes, most of the time, there's no one, and you just have to comfort yourself and pick yourself up and just get whatever it is done that you need done. You have to. It's also taught me just how much I am capable of that I never would have thought I was. Like the situations that I've been in, I didn't realize I could do what I've done. Yeah, it's crazy like what you can do when you're in a situation where you have no other choice. And then what made me start van life? So I kind of touched on like how I heard about it and watching videos that really motivated me to start it. But I guess I wanted to dive a little bit deeper. So I remember I was in a position in my life where I felt like I had to choose something because I was just so not happy. I hated my job that I had. It was very stressful, and I was like crying every day before I had to go to work, which is not normal. So if you do that, that is not normal. These are old things that I thought about when choosing to live in a van. I really had to sit down and decide, what do I like? When do I feel the happiest? At the time, I didn't really know a lot. I remember I wrote down road trips and like traveling. And so I was like, well, I could just make my whole life a road trip then, like with van life. So it kind of all happened at the same time. I felt like I was faced with a decision to either change my life or like, I don't know, continue to be unhappy, and that could lead to something even worse. This lifestyle has saved my life, which is so corny, but it's just opened me up to like so many possibilities, things I didn't know I could do. Where am I from? I am from Washington State. Specifically, I'm from Tacoma, Washington. So if there's anybody out there from Tacoma, hi. How am I? I am all right. I'm doing better than my last few videos. I just keep getting better and better. Some days are harder than others, but I'm here and I'm still trying to make videos. I guess the last thing I want to do is acknowledge all of the comments that said, something along the lines of, I love your videos, you're my comfort videos, like your videos make me smile or make me happy. And I don't even know, all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything I say would never be enough for how grateful I feel when you guys tell me these things, because I just know how I feel when I watch other people's videos, and like how like inspired I can feel, or you know, some sort of like kinship with the person I'm watching. And so I just really appreciate it. Imagining being that person for someone else is so wild, and it's actually so hard to comprehend. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone and all the kind things that you guys say, and I love how much you guys love Athena, she's over here, and how you guys are just like, you're just with me through it all, and I feel so lucky that I get to share it and with this, you know, tiny community and our tiny little corner of the internet. Because like honestly, without the encouragement, I don't think I would keep going, just because I know how hard on myself I can be. So thank you guys, and I think that's everything. Bye.